Buenos dias, todos.
Wait till it's.
Hey, Feliz Dia de la Independencia Mexicana, eh? Bienvenidos a the garage para UFC 306 Riyadh season Noche UFC 306 O'Malley versus Merab. I practice that intro a lot.
So half of it's gonna be cut off.
No.
Raul. Him.
Raul and Aori Kilang. This is a complete layup for Raul. Watched a few fights of Aori's. He gets clipped in almost every single one of them. He's got a real back and forth record. He's not fantastic.
Yeah, he's got more losses than Raul has total fights.
Yep.
Yeah, Raul definitely has some holes in his game, but I think the Christian Rodriguez fight taught him a lot, because I think he looked a lot better when he fought Ricky.
Yeah,
However
Ricky Simone.
No, it was Ricky Turk.
Or no, Ricky Turkowicz.
Yeah, I didn't remember how to say his name, but yeah, no, that he looked a lot better.
That's right.
In that fight, and like Christian Rodriguez, his only two losses, it's Jonathan Pierce and fucking Julian Erosa. So losing to a Christian Rodriguez when he was still like 18, 17, right?
Yeah.
Like
that was his second fight in the UFC,
yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, that's not anything to really be ashamed of.
Wee-wees.
Yeah, he's 19 right now, so yeah. Would have been 18, I think. But, yeah, I pretty much agree with Mass. I think...
Big Wee-wees fan. I think he finishes it real quick.
Yeah, there's a good chance he just drops Aori and finishes him. Maybe he drops him and then just goes with the low IQ move and submits him, but will still be able to pull it off because he's just better.
No, the high IQ move's probably submitting him. Aori does not have good takedown defense.
Well, I just mean the low IQ move that people do where they rock somebody and then instead of finishing them, they like shoot for a takedown and give them 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see.
No, he's got better finishing.
I could see Raul dropping Aori and him going onto his back and then Raul like syncing up the submission.
Either that, but he's got a knockout before.
Oh yeah, he's got a few.
He'll be able to put him away. I think he can sense a finish pretty well.
Yeah, his hands are nothing like phenomenal, but
they're pretty okay.
He doesn't not have hands. You can't say that at all. There's a lot of people who have gone further in their career without getting a single knockout at higher weight classes, so...
He is a grappler, a total grappler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His significant strike line, last time I checked, was at 20, so that's really high for him. Most he's hit is 18.
Yeah, dude, that Christian Rodriguez fight was bad, though.
That was really bad for him.
2 out of 19 total strikes landed versus 83.
Yep.
3 of 16 takedowns. That's rough, man.
I think that made him invest a little bit more into his boxing.
He looked a lot better against Ricky. I mean, it didn't...
Not a lot of significant strikes, but a lot of...
He still got hit quite a bit.
Yeah.
But
he's not super defensively sound.
No, but he's still young, like...
He's got a lot to learn, yeah.
A lot of it's probably just toughness and heart. And just being like, I can take the shot. Which, it's good, but that gets you so far. So that's probably the biggest hole he needs to round out as he gets older and gets better is just the striking and the defense. But, yeah.
Joshua Van and Edgar Cairez. So, Joshua Van had a bit of a rough one last time. He got knocked out by Charles Johnson, I believe, is his name. St. Louis guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good prospect, up and comer. He's got a lot of good front kicks, and he's got good jabs and crosses. Just good basic all around, really. A lot of good frontal power, not a lot of roundhouse, not a lot of stuff coming from the side. But he is a slow starter. And there is Edgar, the little bit that I saw of him, he controls the ring pretty decent. A little bit better than Joshua, I'd say. Joshua's still a pretty sizable favorite in this one, so there is that. But they honestly both have good forward pressure, front kicks. Edgar's more of a blitzer, and Josh he likes to sit back a little bit more. And he's got decent wrestling. I don't think that's going to be I think this is going to be a stand-up fight. I don't think either one of them are going to want to take it down. I think they're going to stand and bang a little bit. It'll be a slow start. I think Edgar's going to take the first round. Josh will pick it up. I don't think this fight's going to end in the first round by any means. But this should still be a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty safe to say. I mean, it's hard to say much, but what I've seen of Joshua Vane, he definitely has some potential at flyweight. He's no, like, Demetrius Johnson, Henry Cejudo type.
Johnson.
He's not a generational athlete or anything like that, but I think he definitely has promise. If he doesn't take that knockout loss too hard,
The Josh's biggest thing is going to be using his counters, and if he can get started a little bit quicker than usual. We'll see.
Yasmin Jaragui. I know it's not how you say it, but I'm not even going to try.
Yargway, I bet it's Yargway.
And then Ketlin Souza.
I watched a little bit of both of these, and just right off the bat, I can tell you that Yargway, or however you pronounce it, is just way better on the feet. And that's where it's going to be. I don't want to be mean to her, but Souza's just not a great fighter. I think she's 14-4 and she's 30, so she got started kind of late, and she's 1-1 in the UFC so far. So
yeah, so is her opponent though.
That's true. That is true.
She did get knocked out in 20 seconds, and threw and missed a single strike. That is a pretty rough UFC debut.
Yeah, that is rough.
And she did follow it up with a decision win against Sam Hughes. So, both of these women are fairly green in the UFC. I think it's their third fight.
Did you see Souza's debut? It's worse. 1 of 1 total strikes. 0 significant strikes, 0 takedowns, and it was a knee bar.
Well, she landed a strike, though. And
yeah, at least she did land one. That is true.
She got hit like a tenth of the amount, too. 4 total strikes landed versus, 21?
That is fair.
What was it? Let's see. Yeah, 21 of 24. Her opponent only missed 3 of the punches she threw in 20 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh man. But you know what? That one knockout loss doesn't necessarily mean anything. GSP, that's when I always look at. That lost to Matt Serra, and then he comes back and whoops him and continues to be one of the greatest.
Currently, Souza is a plus 410 underdog.
And I'd probably give it to Yasmin, but again, I don't keep up with the newer people as much, and that's just kind of how it be.
That is how it be.
It looked like oh, okay. I thought Yasmin had like body hair. And that's cool and all, but I don't think that's what that is.
I think that's just
stretch marks, yeah. But I was like, oh, damn. They gotta test her. She's on something.
No, she's just Mexican.
Yeah. You know what? That's true. Yeah.
She's
true.
just Mexican.
They're a little hairier.
Manuel Torres and Ignacio Bahamondes. I actually didn't get to this one. This is the only fight that I didn't get around to doing any research on.
I don't know much about Torres, but I know Ignacio, I think it was like 2021. He had a fucking crazy. I think it was like a spinning spinning hook kick or heel kick or whatever.
Heel kick, yeah.
I'm so tired, but yeah, spinning kick knockout that like was a highlight reel.
I think I've seen that.
Mm-hmm. Now let's see. Since then,
No, he looks like his record. Just off his record, he looks pretty good.
oh shit. Yeah, I mean, last fight was a knockout win. Before that, he lost a decision, won a decision, submitted, one loss. Yeah, I mean, fairly mixed results in the UFC so far.
2 losses.
Yeah, 29 years old.
What about Torres? 15-2.
Yeah, definitely less fights and less experience in the UFC. This is Torres' first year with the promotion.
Yup.
But
he's undefeated in the promotion.
Yeah, he's undefeated. A knockout
All
and
finishes.
a knockout and a submission.
All quick finishes.
Mm-hmm. And Chris Duncan too. He's no like, again, he's not like some crazy up and coming contender, but I know he's 11-2. He was undefeated in the UFC until Torres submitted him, so it'll be an interesting fight for sure. The little bit that I have seen of Ignacio, I think he probably has what it takes to win. But I don't know.
It's gonna be a tough one for him because Manuel's got a lot of first round finishes.
Yeah.
He looks like he's a pretty solid striker and a pretty solid submission artist. I'm watching a little bit of his stuff right now.
He's on a 6-fight winning streak.
Yeah, he's on a really good winning streak. He's got good power. He throws good volume.
I'm trying to see what his losses are by. He's been submitted twice.
They're both submissions. Yep,
Yeah.
first round submissions.
And Ignacio has submissions, I'm pretty sure.
I think this will be a rather entertaining one for as long as it lasts. They both throw pretty good volume.
Yeah. Yeah, if I had to pick a way someone could win, I could see Ignacio getting a submission just because that's the only way Torres has ever lost, and the striking seems somewhat comparable. So I could see if Torres like panic wrestles or Ignacio just lands a good shot and gets a hold of him. Could definitely end that way.
Torres is favored -125 currently.
I'm betting my house on it.
Now bet the house on Raul. He's -1,000.
To top off the prelims, we've got Irene Aldana and Norma Dumont.
Irene. I feel like it's Irene or something. I feel like they pronounced it weird, and I was like, "What the fuck?" That's Irene. Yeah, I don't know. Another Mexican fighter. Obviously, there's a lot of them. No to UFC, but former title challenger, and she didn't put up a dominant performance against Nunes by any means, but she did do much better than I expected. She went all 5 rounds, which was not what I did not expect that.
She's so old!
She is really old, which is kind of surprising.
Home, Grandma!
Yeah, 36 is crazy. But no, she's the fight after. She did pretty good too.
Yeah,
she's a boxer, just total boxer. I
She's
don't
a name I've
know.
heard for a long time. She's won and lost against a lot of people in women's bantamweight.
I'm curious to see if she boxed at all because she's got, that's all she does. She's a total boxing style, good counters, good leg kicks, good combos. She's got the up kick KO. I remember that.
Yeah, I don't see any boxing for her, but
That's just kind of big in Mexico. It's
oh
that
yeah,
brawling boxing style. Most of these Mexican fighters, with a few exceptions, I will point out, I will say most of these Mexican fighters fight with that style, with a very, very heavy emphasis on just hands high and brawling, getting close, and all levels, brawling, kind of taking some damage, slipping some punches. She's not quite that level. She's a little bit more calculated, but she does throw a lot of good volume and a lot of good counters. She's not great at defending leg kicks, and she's not a great grappler, but she does stay active on her back. Like I said, she's got that up kick, so there is that. Dumont, I watched her a little bit. She's got really good cage pressure and cage pushing.
okay.
So Irene's going to have to stay on her toes a little bit. She's going to have to kind of dictate the pace. Otherwise, she's going to get pushed up back to the cage, and she's either going to get hit with a really hard shot because Dumont throws heavy, heavy hands, good counters, and good combos. And she's got the good cage push and good top pressure, which is going to be good. So she has a pretty good path to victory just by dictating the pace and kind of using that cage to push her and take her down and then exploit that grappling weakness. But Aldana is going to be a tough person to break through the offense of. Her boxing is very good.
Aldana looks like she needs some water.
Yeah, it looks like she's having a rough weight cut.
She looks thirsty.
And this fight is currently a pick'em right now, so I couldn't tell you either way. I will say it's probably going to go the distance, and they're probably going to throw some hands at each other. It's going to be one of the more I will say it probably will be one of the more entertaining WMMA fights because Irene always just throws a lot of volume. She's good at throwing punches and making things look fun.
For our main card, kicking it off with Ronaldo Rodriguez and Ode Osborne.
I don't think Ode Osborne's that good. He uses his range really good, which is something. He fights like Bobby Green almost. Like he has the same, like they have the same stance. They do the weird thing where they have their hands out and they like feint with their hips a lot, and he throws that cross from like all the way across his body a lot. He throws a front kick from there. He uses his range really well. But he fights like a complete reactionary almost, like until he figures it out. He'll sit back on his back feet and then someone will throw something at him and then he'll try and throw something back and usually it won't be fast enough. And then it'll take him a round and a half of that before he actually like picks it up and tries to push his own pace. And then he does well, except for when he does this weird Bobby Green stance and stands a little bit too square and gets kneed in the face. Because that's happened before.
Guys, trust me. Since 2020, Osborne...
Manel Cop was the one that kneed him. Yep.
Osborne has won every other fight.
5 knockouts, 4 submissions, and 3 decisions.
He got submitted his last fight,
Yep.
so he's gonna beat Rodriguez.
He's been knocked out twice with 4 submissions, and then one decision. And Rodriguez, he's got an interesting dog. If you look at it, I want you to just tell me what's a little bit funky about it.
I can what?
He has one victory by other.
By other.
Uh-huh. Scroll up if you go to like the categories. He has 7 knockouts, 5 submissions, 3 decisions, and 1 victory by other. And I don't know what the hell that means, and I couldn't find anything about it, but
It's just like a
that's something. Like DQ or something.
Yeah, it's a DQ.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's like its own thing. Yeah.
I think.
He's got a DQ, I guess, DQ victory.
Oh, let
But
me
I thought
see.
they classified that in their own.
It's yeah. I mean, there's no contest. Yeah, I guess it's just different.
Huh. But no,
I guess, cause it. I guess. I don't know. That's weird. Yeah.
he's got a lot of submissions. He's got good transitions on the ground. He's got pretty solid grappling. That's going to pose a pretty big problem for Ode because he's really bad at the bottom. I don't want to discredit him. I don't think Ode's all that good. He is the underdog. He's a plus 40 underdog, but just the heavy reactionary style is not going to be good for a very active fighter like Rodriguez. His output is a little bit spotty. It can waver sometimes. It ebbs and flows. It's got peaks and valleys. His output, but if he seemed pretty confident during the press conferences and all that, so I think he knows he's going to be able to take the fight to Ode, and I think he's going to try and push the pace on him, use his hands and use his kicks because he's got good boxing and good kicks, just like most of these people with the Mexican style. Really good up top hands, pretty good defense, and just really good basic kicks. Usually front kicks, some roundhouse kicks, but front kicks and leg kicks, and then good boxing's the heavy style there. I'd take Rodriguez.
Next up, we got Esteban Ribovic and Daniel Zellhuber.
Yeah. So, for this one, Ribovic is the underdog, plus 195. I'm going to go over him first. Ribovic, he is the shorter opponent by a good bit in this one. I think he's got like a 3-inch reach disadvantage or something like that.
Oh, it looks more than that. It was...
Or reach. Oh, wow.
Yeah, 8 inches.
8 inches.
Yeah, 8 inches and like 5 inches of height, 5 or 6 inches of height.
Yeah, that's a lot. But, he is no stranger to fighting taller opponents. Most of his opponents in the UFC have been taller than him. Terrence McKinney's a pretty tall dude, from what I remember. I don't know how tall he is, but I'm pretty sure he's up
Oh, I
there.
think he's that tall.
No, I'm thinking of Jalen Turner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Terrence McKinney's like 5'9". 5'10".
Okay, he's kind of tall. Still taller than Esteban.
Yeah.
But no, he's used to fighting taller people. He's dear Lord. He's the one who knocked out Terrence McKinney in his last fight. Both of their last fights. I didn't want to see that. I like McKinney.
Who hasn't knocked out McKinney?
That's true.
Recently?
He's like the lightweight Johnny Walker.
Yeah, he's just getting beat anymore.
Yeah. But I watched Esteban's fight with Camuela Kirk, I believe. And that's a good fight. He's got a really good Kimura. If you look, he's got 5 submission victories, and I believe 4 of them are by Kimura or something like that.
Okay.
They might all be by Kimura. 7 knockouts, 1 decision victory, 1 decision loss. That's the one. So he's got a really, really good Kimura. But that comes with Kimuras are good on... They're good at the bottom and in side control and on the top. He gets him from the bottom usually. He's content sitting on the bottom, and he can be held on his back sometimes, which I will get into that in a little bit. That might be a little bit of a problem. But in between all of his UFC fights, he's shown massive improvement from one to the other. So that is one thing to take into consideration. He must train super hard just because he always comes back better than the last fight. His takedown defense is okay. He's, like I said, he's not very good at the bottom. Speaking more on his offense on the feet, his defense isn't super good either. He's got a really, really good chin. He's all offense, but he's got good cardio, which comes with all offense. So good chin, all offense, and good cardio, but every time he throws, he drops his hands. That's a problem that a lot of people on this card have from here on out. They'll throw, and they'll just drop their hands and kind of be okay with that. Osborne does that as well. I didn't go over that. Osborne does the same thing. But they'll throw and drop their hands, and then they'll get clipped hard. Ribovic has had that happen a few times in every single fight. He gets clipped pretty good because he's got really bad defense. But he's got good combos with his hands, and he mixes it up really well. He'll take the shot, come in a little bit harder, and then throw some stuff at your body, up at your head, make you drop your hands. Zellhuber, he's one of the exceptions to the Mexican style because he is out of Mexico, but he fights like me. Honestly, he uses his range well. He's got good jabs, good crosses, a good front kick, and good roundhouse kicks. Just good basic Muay Thai, pretty much. He's really creative with his striking, and he uses his long range well because he has a range advantage in most of his fights. He's got a pretty good one in this one, so he's going to be using that well and be creatively striking, switching stances.
I don't know if there's anyone as a 78-inch reach in lightweight.
That's
if
fucking
they,
crazy.
If they do, it's Jalen.
He uses that long guard style, kind of like Izzy when he feels out a little bit. He rolls really well. That's his defense is really fun to watch. His Contender Series fight was a pleasure. He just rolls just right. It just goes right past him. He's very flashy. He's fun to watch. He's got some good back pocket wrestling too. He hip tossed someone in his Contender Series fight. Got top control, beat him up a little bit, and like I said, Esteban's got really bad grappling, so that might be a problem because Zellhuber's gonna want to stay on the feet because that's where he's comfortable. That's where his punches and kicks and all that good stuff of his excel. But he can wrestle, and that might be a pretty good path to victory here. But he's not afraid to put on a show, so he's gonna probably put on a show and stay on his feet. 7, 3, and 5 for him. KOs, submissions, and decisions. He trains at Extreme Couture over there with Sean Strickland and all of them. So, I'd take Zellhuber here. I'd say he's got a pretty clear advantage on no matter where this goes. I don't think he gets a knockout. It's going to be real hard for him to get a knockout, to be honest, because Ribovic has got a really good chin. So, I think this goes to a decision. It'll be a nice slugfest, a good war.
Diego Lopez and Brian Ortega. We already talked about this for 20 minutes a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, luckily we already went over this one. There's not much to add.
Yeah, we'll just kind of recap
Glance over the things that we had.
Yeah, Brian Ortega looked a lot better in his last fight against Yair than the fight before that when he got finished by Yair. So,
oh yeah,
he's super slick with those submissions, but at the same time, Diego just goes out there and just throws
his hands, dude. He is like the true embodiment of Mexican MMA, which is weird because he's from Brazil. He's a Brazilian dude, but he slugs, dude. He doesn't. That's the best way to put it. He's just a fucking slugger. He'll go out there and hands up high, chin maybe a little bit higher than it should be, but he'll just throw wild shit, man, and he's so fun to watch.
Yeah, he can grapple too. I mean,
oh my god, his He's fun to watch no matter where he's at.
Yeah, Ortega's slick, but my consensus is the same as it was a couple of weeks ago. I think Lopez is probably going to end up beating him up.
Ortega's got pretty weak defense. He got beat up pretty bad by Volk. The last fight he won since beating Yair was like the ghost of the Korean zombie.
Yeah.
And that was like within the last 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to discredit Ortega because he's good and he's fought some real good people. But he's getting up there and he did look really good against Yair. He had the problem with the weight cut last time these two tried to fight. So that's already kind of a thing. He made weight just fine this time. So not really a problem there. But Lopez is younger. He's hungry. I can tell he really fucking wants that belt.
Yep.
He's got really good offensive wrestling, and Ortega's got mainly defensive wrestling. And I think the offensive jiu-jitsu of Lopez is going to outshine the defensive jiu-jitsu of Ortega because Lopez can do whatever he wants from wherever he wants. And Ortega's he's got a guillotine and a triangle and a couple other things, but not much that he can do from anywhere. He can't do anything from anywhere like Lopez can. He's too active. I think Lopez is too active everywhere for Ortega to keep up.
Yep. I would agree.
It'll be a good one, though. I think this one also probably goes to no. It'll be like a toss-up between a finish and a decision. If it's a finish, it'll be a late third-round finish for Lopez, who I believe... What are the odds on that one? What the fuck? Where'd they go? Lopez is favored, minus 192.
Hey, I bet we're so excited to see this one again.
I am, actually.
I am, until you realize just how shitty women's flyweight is when this has been the only title fight that's happened in 2 years.
Yeah.
No one else has gotten a crack at it. It's just been them back to back to back.
Hey.
But who else is there? Macy Barber?
It was during the time when the people who lost just got immediate title shots back. And then the one where she got the shot back was a draw. It is fucking shitty. This is the only title fight we've gotten for this division in the last 2 years. But it...
I mean, it's literally been a whole year since the belt's even been contended.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And then it's
crazy.
just the same two women.
But this will be a really good fight.
I mean, yeah, it was a good fight. The first
two times it was they are two of the most even people in the entire sport of MMA. Like they exploited each other's weaknesses very well. Used their strengths super well against each other. It's just... It'll be a really good fight. Grasso's got really good dirty boxing, because again, that Mexican style. She's fucking... I forgot until I watched the second fight, Grasso dropped Shevchenko hard in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's just... I was watching and I was like, wow, she's really good at cutting angles, like fighting angles, and she cuts one and fucking throws a hook and drops Valentina. So, she's really good at cutting angles. She found most of her success in those fights in southpaw, which is something. She's really good at creating space, and she separates very well. Her whole thing is her defense is the pullback, like Anderson Silva did it the best, but just pulling your head back and moving it around. She's really good at doing that. He's got a really good rear naked choke. She's got okay takedown defense, but she's really good at taking the back and then getting back up or finding the rear naked choke, which can kind of make up for it. Her counters are really solid. She doubles up on kicks, like her lead kick. She'll throw a leg kick and then a body kick, or like a body kick and a head kick. Like she'll throw the lead leg twice. It's really fun to watch. But four KOs, 2 decisions, 2. Jesus Christ, 4 KOs, 2 submissions, 10 decisions, and then 1 loss by decision. 2 losses by decision, 1 loss by submission. Why do we keep fucking that up? The decision submission thing. Why is that so hard? But Valentina, she's like the embodiment of a kickboxer turned MMA fighter. A little bit better than Izzy, I'd argue, more well-rounded. She's not as reliant on counters, but she still is pretty heavy on counters. She's got the kickboxing stance. High guard. She's really weird to watch because she stands still and she'll just like plot forward. She doesn't bounce around. She'll plant her feet and just slowly walk forward inch by inch and then just find her range and use her back leg usually either for a leg kick or a body kick and then bring that up to the head. Her takedowns are interesting because she doesn't shoot for anything. It's all like trips, and from the clinch she'll like drag you down from the clinch or trip you. Judo throw. She's really speedy. She's super fast. Just her kicks whip out ridiculously fast. Her hands are really good. She's got great ground and pound once she gets that takedown. Her top control is solid. She's got a lot more finishes, 8 KOs and 7 submissions, 8 decisions. So she's a lot more of a finisher. But Grasso finished her, Valentina made a pretty big mistake in exposing her back against someone who's very good at taking backs. That was something Grasso had done even before that fight. She's always been good at taking people's backs on the ground, standing up, and that was something that Shevchenko didn't do her research on. In next fight, she didn't throw anything spinning. So this one's honestly a toss-up for me. It's pretty close to a pick-em right now. Valentina's a 114 underdog, so it's getting pretty narrow.
Yeah, I really would have liked to see, like...
Manon, isn't she in that?
I mean, she's the number 2 girl. Her last fight, she beat who was the number 2 above her. Like...
Yeah, I don't know.
She beat Rose, like one of the best in that division. She was just champion like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yep.
For the second time. Like...
Yeah, they need to get more active.
I just don't get it. They just need to sign more talent. That's what they need to do. I mean, so many of the people... I mean, fucking... so many people are still ranked in like 3 different weight classes and haven't fought in that weight class in years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, WMMA is lacking.
In the UFC, it is, for certain. I can't say too much about the rest, but... Like, and they have names, but... A lot of them are old. Like, Jermaine Duran to me is still fighting.
Oh, Diego Lopez is... he teaches Grasso boxing now. So that's going to be something. Her boxing was already really good. She already had good boxing. Cutting angles, so she's going to be a lot more gritty. I think Grasso is going to be a lot more active this fight. This fight's going to get right to action. They've already fought each other twice. They know how to fight each other. They know what to do. There's going to be no feeling out. They're going to go at each other. It'll be good. Valentina's going to expose that grappling weakness again, I think. Grasso's going to defend them a little bit better.
Dude, it's like half the fucking roster in women's MMA is 42.
That's the thing.
It's crazy.
How much older is Grasso than Valentina?
It's only
a couple years, like 2 or 3.
Yeah, Valentina's 5 years older than Grasso.
Okay, yeah, so that's actually kind of a lot in MMA. In MMA, 5 years is kind of a lot. But Valentina's been around for so long, fought so many people.
Women's MMA doesn't even really seem to matter.
Yeah, apparently not.
Again,
But
40 and 42-year-olds are still ranked in the division.
my thought process is I don't know how much more Shevchenko can learn right now in her career.
Exactly. She's not going to get any better.
She's already kickboxed her whole life. She's established a style already. So,
yeah, she's had like 30 MMA fights.
yeah. Grasso is fresher, fairly new. I think she's younger, and I think she can learn a lot more from Valentina than Valentina can learn from her as far as fighting each other. I don't know what Valentina can pick up on Grasso other than the grappling. And I think Grasso is young enough, wants to keep things, like she wants to keep the belt.
I don't think either of them are really going to get much to improve the third time around. I think all they're going to learn is how to beat the other person better.
How to operate, but yeah.
Against their opponent. I mean, it's your third fight against somebody consecutively. How much is different? How much are you gonna pick up on? You know. It's been a year, so that's something I suppose. Maybe Shevchenko will be a little slower or something, but I don't know. It seems a little pointless. I get that it's a draw, but
that's the thing that got me is the draw.
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, I just hate it when divisions get held up like that, especially with champions. Like, when you have the top contenders fighting each other for a couple years just to stay busy while the same two women fight back and forth, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's the same problem they had at flyweight with Moreno and Figgy. And those are all great fights, but, like, by the time the fourth fight rolled around, I didn't care anymore. Like, I didn't watch that fight until after it happened, just because I was like, okay, well, they're either going to drop each other or one of them's going to submit the other person.
Yeah,
like,
it's going to happen again,
It's
guys.
fun to watch, but, like, I don't really care to tune in anymore. There's not a lot riding on it for me anymore. It's just who's going to trade the belt this time. And I'm glad that problem has been fixed.
I think they said that this is going to be done. Like, this is the last one.
Well, yeah, I'd hope so.
Hopefully.
If they rebook again, they might as well just fucking shut down the entire division. Why have anyone else fight? Yeah. I don't know. I hate it when they do shit like that. I honestly don't even really like immediate rematches for the champion all the time. I think to an extent they deserve it, but like with that hard knockout of Kamaru against Edwards, I was like, okay.
Yeah, why rematch that?
Immediately, like, I think it should have been, okay, let's see Leon against somebody else, and then, I don't know, I get it, but, yeah, at the very least, don't do it 3 times. I'm sick of that shit.
If Valentina loses, she retires. I'm calling it right now. She's gonna bitch and retire because she was a very sore loser the last 2. I remember that. It bothered me. It made me not like her very much. I like her. She's a really good kickboxer, counter striker.
She's knocked out a lot of people.
She's fun to watch. She's a good counter striker. She's like a female Izzy to a degree. A little bit more well-rounded, a little bit less afraid to take it to the ground. Not as much of a sniper, but I don't know.
We'll have to see how it goes.
I picked Grasso. That's my pick.
Oh no, where's Merab?
Merab.
Oh, there he is.
Lower accurate Merab.
Yeah. This one's pretty clean for me.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, Merab can put his hands on people. He's not going to do it to Sean.
No.
I mean, I feel like Sean is going to damn near be able to just put his palm out on Merab's forehead and keep him at arm's length, you know?
That's kind of, yeah, he already uses his height and reach well.
I think, you know, if Merab's taken down Piotr Jan and making Henry Cejudo look like he doesn't know how to wrestle, that definitely doesn't bode well for Sean. But at the same time, Merab hasn't wrestled anybody with the same like physicality as Sean. I think Sean may get taken down, but I think he's gonna like just get back up.
He's gonna push the pace on Sean more than anybody else has.
Yeah, and I don't think you're not gonna get Sean tired. Merab's not gonna get tired, but I really do think that. I mean, Merab's best bet is going to be just shutting Sean down.
That's
like,
what
not letting him do anything.
That's what he does best with his grappling.
And
That's
even then,
exactly what he did to Piotr Jan, because he just used his grappling, and Piotr Jan couldn't do anything because he was getting completely shut down. Because after 7 takedown attempts in the first round, he was too worried about those to let anything else happen. He's really good. Merab is very, very good at setting the pace with those grappling attempts because he's got really good chain wrestling. He's very crafty with the takedowns, and he uses that to set a crazy pace for the fight that most people can't keep up with. Sean O'Malley's a very, very, very underrated jiu-jitsu person. He's very underrated in the jiu-jitsu realm. Which, you know, I think he can get taken down, and it's not likely. He might be able to submit him, but he'll be able to get up pretty easily. His takedown defense is already good. He gets back up very well. He's got one of the best, something that a lot of people don't give O'Malley credit for, and I guess it's not his credit really, but something that goes unnoticed is his corner.
Oh yeah.
Tim Welch, I would argue, is one of the best coaches in MMA.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
A phenomenal coach. He's half of why O'Malley got to where he is. I think O'Malley is one of the only people that Tim Welch coaches.
I'm not sure anymore. He's got a full-blown gym now.
Does he now?
Okay. Oh, yeah. But they trained and lived together for years.
I know they train one-on-one lot. And I think that really benefits Sean. I think he gets a really deep connection with his coach, and they understand each other, and he understands. Instead of trying to manage 12 fighters and remember who fights like what and all that, they spend so much time together. They have a very deep understanding of how Sean fights and how he coaches, and there's just a very good relationship there, and that's going to be a really good tool for O'Malley to use.
Yeah, I think Merab, like, he's gonna put that pace on in the beginning, and he might even take the first round just by like nullifying Sean. But I honestly think if Sean isn't able to like piece Merab the fuck up, he's gonna land enough of his own shots to win the fight by decision at the very least.
He's got a 4-inch height and reach advantage.
Yeah, I don't think Merab's gonna be smashing him with ground and pound or locking up 3 different submission attempts.
I think O'Malley's he's too elusive.
Mm-hmm.
He uses his he evades and circles and just he's too elusive. You can't get to him. That's half his takedown defense is you can't get to him.
Yeah, you have to get past the legs too, you know. And
yeah.
If Merab just keeps shooting on him, Sean is going to easily be able to pick up on that. And Merab has to get so far to get to Sean, and Sean has so much distance to pick him apart, hit him, get out of the way, sprawl, do whatever he wants to do.
Merab's haircut sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I just realized that.
Yeah, he's got a bowl cut.
What the fuck?
He's got like a low tapered fade into a bowl cut. But I don't know. Merab's like, he's not as bad as people say he is, but the people that gas him up, I don't think he's quite that good either. I think he is
He has the same thing as Repovic, where he drops his hands every time he throws anything.
His striking isn't great.
He'll throw a strike and he'll drop his hands to his body, and then anytime he's on defense, he puts his hands all the way up by his head and leaves his body open. He leaves an opening no matter what he's doing.
Yeah, he's a funny little guy too, and I know he is mad. He is mad at Sean, and Sean I think has a little bit of at the presser he was on the mic he was terrible, but in the face off
Sean's never good on the mic.
He had some hostility against Merab that was just a little extra, and I don't know. I could very easily see both of them like kind of throwing caution to the wind. And if they do that even for a second, Sean is just gonna clip the fuck out of Merab.
Yep.
And yeah,
he's very calm and collected. He doesn't waste any movement. Everything he does has a purpose.
His counters are just it's so vicious.
His
dude.
feints. He's got
he's
wild feints.
He's gonna bait Merab into shooting on something, and he's just gonna get like flying kneed into the next plane of existence.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Sean O'Malley by second round KO, but I could see it going to a split decision for Sean. I could see Merab making it a pretty shitty fight and pretty much just nullifying Sean with his grappling, but not really being able to do anything with it. And Sean, just kind of eking him out with the few strikes he's able to land before Merab gets his hands on him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think Merab's going to be able to just hold Sean against the cage.
He avoids takedowns entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you can get to his legs, he's got the defense. And then if you get him down, he can get back up, especially against Merab, because he can't keep people down. Yeah. He's never been good at keeping people down. Yeah, he's good at taking people down 50 times.
Yeah, Petr Yan took Sean down, couldn't keep him down. If Petr Yan took down Sean, MMA math's dumb, but if Petr Yan can do it, Merab can most likely take down Sean. But if Yan couldn't keep down O'Malley, Merab's not going to keep down O'Malley by any means.
It's not a matter of if. Sean will get taken down. It's just a matter of how is that going to affect him and how much is he going to be able to get off before the threat of the takedowns are there.
And Sean's so calm on the ground too. He doesn't
so
panic. Calm. It's what he trains for,
He hasn't shown any grappling in any of the footage he's put on social media either, so he's training that shit hard. I know he is. He's smart. Sean takes it.
Yeah.
He's got the better heart. He's got better willpower, I think. He's got good cardio. He's been pushed by Yan. The Yan fight was a rough fight for him. Still think he won it. Watched it again. Watched it yesterday.
Yeah.
The feints are going to be money, because it's going to make Merab bite and drop his hands.
Yep.
That's what I was thinking. Right off the bat when I was watching Merab's last fight against Cejudo, he got clipped by Cejudo really bad because when he throws, he drops his hands. So all it takes is a little feint from Sean and then coming back with a quick anything, and it's going to clip him. If Sean can get one round where he drops him, that's guaranteed. I think that happens. I think Sean drops him in a round. He just needs 2 rounds, worst case, he just needs 2 rounds where his striking looks better than Merab's grappling. And I think that's 100% doable. And that's worst case scenario if he doesn't knock Merab out. I'm a huge Sugar boy, so we both are.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of go for him, but even breaking it down, all of the notes I'm looking at, going by logic, Sugar takes it pretty easily.
Yep. Well, I think that's pretty much all we had for you. 1 or 2 things in MMA news quick. Michael Chandler will be fighting Charles Oliveira again.
What?
Yep.
What? Did that get officially announced?
I got a notification from ESPN a couple hours ago, yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't? What the fuck?
Yep, so that's happening, and then Ness and I were talking about it earlier, but
genuine reaction, guys.
The Karate Combat president was talking about that James Vick KO from a couple weeks ago. Dude was comatose for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's some crazy news. I really don't want to see him doing hard contact.
I don't want to see him
sports
do
anymore.
if he does combat, I want it to be jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, do jiu-jitsu, bro. Imagine if he fucking goes on.
If he gets knocked out again, I think he dies.
Imagine he starts slap fighting.
Oh my god.
that would be like the first televised slap death.
We're kind of switching sports here, but funny enough, the Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. I said it right the first time. He suffered his fourth career concussion in 5 years, and just kind of relating that to James Vick's thing. You gotta know after a certain amount of just hard brain damage when to call it quits.
Yeah,
you just gotta know when it's time.
Yeah, you can't wait until the brain damage starts showing, because that's it's just gonna get worse. You know, the brain damage doesn't get any better.
No, Dana White, he had a thing. Did you see that? He got brain scans back, and he's got black spots on his brains. Dana White officially has CTE because he boxed when he was younger. Is what he says.
I don't think you can tell if someone has CTE until you do like an autopsy.
Well, at the very least, he had
I'm sure
dark spots.
Yeah,
on his brain.
I'm sure there's something there, but yeah.
You know, he said that's from boxing, and Joe Rogan's been talking about it a little bit because he's like, yeah, he's like a really impulsive gambler now for some reason. He's like, he never did that. It's really weird. I think he might have brain damage. He is brain damaged.
Yeah, I mean,
protect your guys' brain, guys. That shit's important.
I mean, yeah, if you box for a year, you're gonna get brain damage, even if it's extremely minor and never affects you in your greater life. Your brain is constantly getting sloshed around inside of your skull, and that's gonna concuss you.
It's no bueno.
Yeah, even if they're very minor concussions, you know, it's gonna happen.
Protect your cabeza.
Even in jiu-jitsu, you know, you're rolling hard, you get caught with an elbow, or you headbutt the other dude.
It happens. It fucking happens.
Yeah, like
especially a white belt, man.
Merab's first, I don't know if it was his first knockout loss or whatever, but shot a takedown on somebody and knocked himself out on the takedown and got choked out. It got ruled as a submission loss, you know, and that's happened to people on the Big Show before. So
yeah,
trying to think of who else did it.
A few people have knocked themselves out.
I'm pretty sure Mark Kerr did it in one of his comebacks.
Yep, that sounds right.
I know. It's not a takedown knockout, but I always remember. Because I wasn't watching it then, but Matt Hamill and Carlos Newton. I think Carlos Newton has Matt Hamill in a triangle choke, and Matt Hamill lifts him up and is resting Carlos on the cage, and Carlos chokes Matt out, so Matt like slumps down, and Carlos gets like fucking power slammed onto the back of his head and goes unconscious. And Matt Hamill wakes up first, so there's like, oh, he slammed him and he knocked him out.
Yeah, I remember that.
Matt is like sitting there like half slumped over, and then he looks around and he like runs one way and then runs another. He's like, I won. The best part is you literally see him on camera go, I was totally out there.
I know. Someone fought Drew Dober and like tried to do a lateral drop or something and like knocked himself out, or like tried to suplex and like smacked his head on the ref didn't notice it, so the fight kept going and Drew just like submit him. Yeah, dude totally fucking knocked himself out.
That shit's rough, man. Alright. Well, thank you guys. A little garage MMA news. Probably not going to be uploading as consistently, just with work schedules, and our other project, Scared Stupid, has been taken off a decent amount, and we really are enjoying it. Not that we haven't enjoyed this, but we want to spend a little bit more time on that channel, and we also don't want the content that we do put on this channel to be as rushed and as lower effort as it's been the last few. You know, we do care about the sport, and we
want to put as much effort as we did into this video with our research as we do with every video.
Yeah.
Because I got to watch fights from every person on this card except for one of the fights. There was two people I didn't get to do research on. And we want to do that for all of them.
Yep.
Instead of trying to push out this and then something else.
Yeah, we wanna make videos that we're more confident about, and we want to show to other people, you know.
Proud of.
Yep. So at the very least, you can expect a video for each numbered UFC event. There are guarantee there are going to be fight nights that we do cover, but it's not going to be weekly anymore. But yeah, we're still gonna record Let's Plays every now and again. We're definitely beating Budokai Tenkaichi 3. We're definitely playing Sparking Zero when that comes out. That's a no-brainer. So keep your eyes peeled, and we'll be back sometime in the next few weeks.
Adios.
Thanks for watching.
When I'm with you, part of me says, what are we doing right now?